If you're running an ecom brand and you're not using flows properly, you're leaving so much money on the table. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact automated email flows that we've used for our clients to generate millions of dollars in extra revenue without spending any more money on ads, making any more content, or having to do more work after you set them up. Set them up once and they'll usually bring around 20% of your total Shopify revenue. We're talking welcome flow, site abandonment flow, browse abandonment flow, abandoned cart, abandoned checkout, post-purchase, and a winback flow. Let's hop into it. All right, this is the Ultimate Email Flow Playbook 2025 edition. This document that I'm going to cover, it's going to be a long one. This video is going to be long, but this document, it's worth it. It's going to be in the description of this video. It's free. I recommend getting it. I recommend implementing the stuff that's in it. It's going to be worth it. And the exact system that I'm going to show you in this video, we've used to generate millions of dollars in automated revenue for our clients. So here's some screenshots. Either flow revenue. Some's over a couple months. Some's over a month. Some is over 4 days. So just some screenshots. You can check those out if you want. A little information on who I am. Not really going to cover it. Socials, blah, blah, blah. You can check it out in the doc if you want to see it. What's inside? Before I get into this, this is all tested and proven. This is the exact plug and play, copy and paste system that we've used to generate millions of dollars. If you watch the video and don't implement it, I don't recommend that. It doesn't make any sense. So if you're going to watch the video, please implement the stuff. If you don't implement the stuff, hire an agency to do it for you. But this is the basics. This is what works. This is all you really need, and it'll generate 20% of your Shopify revenue. So what's inside of here? Like I said, the exact plug and play system. This includes detailed breakdowns, real email examples, and step-by-step videos for setting everything up in Klaviyo. Why this is important. Paid traffic is getting more expensive by the day, and profits are slowly dying. People aren't just landing on your site and just buying anymore. There's more resistance, more competition, and they're taking their sweet time for pulling the trigger. So if you don't have any way to warm them up and stay in front of them and guide them to checkout without torching your ad budget, profitability is going to be a tough game for you. So here's a little chart here, how we got here and what's next for ecom. So from 2020 to 2023, the government is printing money. Everybody's getting stimmy checks. People are spending their stimmy checks. Ecom brands are making a shit ton of money. Everyone was starting brands, so there's more competition. And then let's fast forward to now, 2024 onward, the market cools off. People are poor now. They're not buying shit. Sales drop and customer acquisition cost goes up. If you keep doing what worked before, you're going to watch your brand slowly die. But if you focus on profit and retention and you build a real sustainable business, you're going to be just fine. But I already have flows. Yeah, maybe you got some flows. You got a few flows, maybe welcome series, check-in abandoned, post-purchase, your customer's dog's birthday, the usual flows. And they're probably 3 to 4 emails long, sometimes more, sometimes less. Maybe you watched the David Goggins video that day, so you're pretty locked in. You made it 8 emails long, who knows? But let's be honest, the copy and design probably haven't been touched since you built them. And flows aren't a one-time setup. They are and they aren't. You set them up one time, but then you need to constantly optimize them and keep up with your brand, your customers, the trends, the memes, all of it. Otherwise, if you just, built them 4 years ago and they're sitting there, I can guarantee you can go look at the flow revenue. It's just been going down. Here's a little meme. When your email flows haven't been touched in years, this is fine. What are flows? Flows are a series of emails that go out automatically after someone does something on your site, like starting checkout or adding something to their cart. They're different from campaigns. Campaigns, I could go right now, make a campaign, send it to my entire email list if I had something crazy cool to say, but I don't right now. But with flows, it's different. Flows happen when a customer does something. So you build them, you set them live, you turn them on, and they'll do the work for you. If somebody does something, then they'll blast an email out to them. Flows, they're like a 24/7 salesman who never sleeps, never calls in sick, and doesn't ask for commission. Why use flows? The simple answer is you're going to make more money. But that's not all they're good for. They also improve the customer experience through personalization. Different people are in different stages of the buying journey, so they shouldn't all get the same email. Flows will let you send the right message to the right person at the right time, automatically. Set it up once, and they're going out every day without lifting a finger. Pretty much every email platform has automations. MailChimp, Klaviyo, Shopify even has some. Omnisend. I recommend using Klaviyo though. So the basics. This brand example here, this brand had nothing going at all. I just want to show you here. Basically, we set up the basics. Nothing more, nothing less, just the basics. And the basics are the same flows, or I'll walk you through in this video here. But the basics went from 0 to $76,000 in automated revenue. This is just from flows, not even campaigns. In the first month, just from setting the basics live. So this is your sign to just set the basics up. What flows should I be using? There's all these cool, really advanced automations. You see people posting pictures of their flows that were 90,000 emails long, crazy conditional splits. You don't need all that. No one wants to set them up. They suck. Sometimes they can be good, but let's be honest, the most hyper-segmented, over-engineered stuff takes too much time and it barely gets the additional results. Just getting the basics right is what actually moves the needle for your brand. This is a classic 80-20. When I say basic or base flows, this is what I'm talking about. A welcome flow, probably 8 to 10 emails, a site abandonment flow, 1 to 3 emails, a browse abandonment flow, 3 to 5 emails, a cart abandonment flow, 6 to 8 emails, a checkout abandonment flow, also 6 to 8 emails, post-purchase flow, 3 emails, and a winback flow, 3 to up to 10 emails if you want, even more. Here is a overview of all the flow templates, the outlines, time delays, what I recommend in each email. If you have the doc, you can check this out. Otherwise, we'll break them down individually in this video. So the first one, the welcome flow. So each flow, I'm going to break down what, why, how, and then I'm going to get into flow outlines, email examples, and Klaviyo setup. So the welcome flow, what? It's 4 to 10 emails that go out when someone joins your list. Basically, why? I mean, they probably got there because they signed into a pop-up. Most pop-ups offer a discount or some sort of incentive. So give them their discount or the incentive, introduce them to the brand, show them your products, make them feel like they're in the right place. Trigger, they join your list. Filter, when someone makes a purchase 0 times to start this flow. These are all for Klaviyo. So these are the exact filters you'd use in Klaviyo. So there's 2 outcomes from a welcome series. There's A and B. Both are good. So outcome A, basically you turn curious visitors into actual customers who were almost going to bounce, but then you got them on the mailing list. Outcome B, basically, even if they don't make a purchase right away when they get in your welcome series, they're now warmed up, they're educated, and they're ready to pull the trigger when the timing's right. So I have some memes here. Take my money, and then Pablo Escobar just chilling. All right, let's get into the flow outline. So this is what I was talking about in more detail here. This is literally I mentioned the trigger and filter above, but this is what I recommend in each flow. So this is the emails, how many emails I recommend in the welcome series, time delays, and what to put in each email. Email 1, give a strong introduction, deliver incentive, introduce brand USPs, social proof, show bestsellers. I'm not going to mention the time delays. You can read that. But email 2, give brand background, founding story, put a face to the name, sprinkle in some social proof. Email 3, bestsellers promotion, highlight bestsellers, explain why it's so good. Email 4, reminder of incentive, add urgency to the offer. It's expiring soon. Risk reversals, and then give testimonials for trust. Email 5, us versus them, address competitors, outline your brand's USPs, and distinguish your brand from others. Email 6, heavy social proof, brand testimonials, media features, and prove you're legit. And then email 7, this is a plain text from the founder. They haven't ordered yet, and we're on email 7. So we're going to ask, is everything okay? Ask for feedback, last chance for your discount, blah, blah, blah. Email 8, send them a graphic design, last chance for a discount with heavy urgency. Just get them over the line, keep it simple. And the last one is email 9, another plain text from the founder. Is everything okay? Be like, hey, I saw you didn't use your discount yet. I've extended it 1 more day. This is the last chance. So it's the last chance now. So that is the flow outline. I have some email examples here. Some welcome emails. What I've always recommended is, say your emails suck and you don't want them to suck anymore, hire an agency or find a brand that has good emails and just copy them. So I always recommend doing that. Your welcome email sucks, maybe you have a 10% off offer, similar product, whatever, you can copy these emails. Just find an email you like, copy it. And then I have Klaviyo set up. This is going to be a video breaking down how to set up the trigger for each flow. Each flow will have that, but I'm not going to get into that because you can just watch that in the doc. All right, site abandonment flow. There's 2 reasons someone lands on your site and ghosts you. 1, they didn't find anything they liked, or 2, they got distracted by TikTok, their dog, or whatever else. Either way, you want to remind them that you exist and bring them back so they continue browsing. And they really didn't browse, I guess, before because they didn't click on anything. But basically what it is 1 to 3 emails sent to someone who visits your site but doesn't click on anything. They don't click on a product or nothing. Why? I'll offer a little nudge, help them pick up where they left off, start pulling them down the funnel. Trigger, they were active on site. Filters, someone views product 0 times, add to cart 0 times, goes to checkout 0 times, make purchase 0 times, all since starting this flow, and then has not been this flow in the last 30 days. Flow outline, trigger and filter I just mentioned. Just 1 email here. You can do more, up to 3 I'd recommend, but 1 works. Need some help? Remind them to keep shopping, show bestsellers. Pretty simple. Here's some examples. Still thinking, thanks for stopping by. Join categories and stuff. Same here. Tell us what we did wrong. But all right, let's go to the next one. The browse abandonment flow. So Someone looked at a product, but they didn't add to cart, they didn't check out, and they didn't buy. Why do they do this? Most of the time, they're just not fully sold on the brand or the product yet. So we either want to pull them back to that product or help them find something else they actually want. So this is 3 to 8 emails sent after someone views the product but doesn't move forward. Why? We want to remind them, rebuild interest, drop some social proof, and move them closer to buying. So the how, the trigger is view to product. Filters are add to cart 0 times, start a checkout 0 times, make a purchase 0 times, all since starting this flow, and then has not been in this flow for the last 30 days. If they were curious enough to click on a product, they're warm. So this flow helps you keep the momentum going to get them further in the funnel. Here is the flow outline. Time delay is 45 minutes for this first one. Okay, I shouldn't say that. It's not 45 minutes. It's whatever your brand, you should test this and see, whatever your brand likes. Email 1, reminder of product, dynamic, abandoned content. So we're going to show the specific product that they looked at and did not take or add to their cart. Email 2, brand info and risk reversals. We're going to use a branded headline to pique interest. We're going to add risk reversals, and we're going to show the other products to shop. Email 3, we're going to list some testimonials and some social proof, and then show that dynamic product they abandoned again. Email 4, discount opener. We're going to do a flash discount announcement and then show the product they abandoned. And then email 5, discount closer, like flash discount, last chance, show the product they abandoned. Basically, the way this works is you send them this email. If you can get them to go back to their product and take it one step further in the funnel, like say I'm the customer and I get email 1, I see my product, I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go look at that again. I'm checking it out. I'm like, yeah, maybe I will buy it. I add it to my cart. Now I'm going to get removed from this flow. Like someone adds to cart 0 times. So then I fail that filter. So now I'm no longer in this flow and I will not get these 4 emails. All right, let's look at the email examples. We noticed you were eyeing this, showing the product they were looking at. Nudge, nudge, you got distracted in the middle of browsing. Here's the product they were looking at. This one, they don't show the product, but okay, we saw you looking, which is another cool email. Next, we have the cart and checkout abandon flow. You've definitely heard of these before, and for good reason. If you don't have these set up and dialed in, you're literally leaving money on the table from people who are halfway to buying. These people are the farthest in the funnel. They're the closest to giving you money. You definitely don't want to mess this up. So, 3 to 8 emails sent to someone who adds something in their cart or starts checkout and then dips. Remind them the why is remind them what they wanted. Hype up the product, drop in some reviews, remove risk. Make it a no-brainer for them to buy this product. How? So, these are 2 different flows. The abandoned cart and checkout are 2 separate flows. So there's going to be 2 triggers here and 2 filters. So the abandoned cart, the trigger is when someone adds something to their cart. Filters, checkout started 0 times to start in this flow. Placed order 0 times to start in this flow. Makes a purchase 0 times since starting this flow. And then has not been this flow in the last 30 days. And then checkout started is when someone starts checkout. Filters are placed orders 0 times since starting this flow, makes a purchase 0 times since starting this flow, and has not been in this flow in the last 30 days. These flows are your last shot before the sale's gone, so we can't make them weak. Like I said, important. These are 2 different flows. They're not the same. And Klaviyo, by default, at least they used to, it might be a little different now because they do have a added to cart Shopify trigger now, so they might be, getting their shit together now. But before, they used to kind of trick you into thinking the abandoned cart was the abandoned cart, but it was actually checkout started as the trigger. It was actually abandoned checkout the whole time. I don't know why they did that, but still, to this day, 2025, 9 out of 10 brands I audit don't even have a real cart abandoned flow. I'll get in there, it'll say abandoned cart, and then the trigger will be checkout started, which is not correct. Like I said, the default abandoned cart in Klaviyo is actually not the cart abandoned, so checkout abandoned. So if you don't have a proper one set up, you're missing on a majority of abandonments. Your abandoned cart flow has a trigger, checkout started. It's not actually an abandoned cart. So you want to have 2 flows, abandoned cart and checkout. Abandoned cart's trigger is added to cart, and abandoned checkout's trigger is checkout started. So here's an example. This is me on Olipop, yeah. So I added something to my cart, and I went to checkout. 2 different things. So basically, the abandoned cart would happen if I added this pop to my cart, and I left. My dog shit on the carpet or something, so now I gotta go clean it up. So I left. That's an abandoned cart. And Klaviyo doesn't track this by default. You have to set it up manually. So you either have to add a snippet of code if you want to use the API, or you have to, if you have Shopify, you can enable, there's a new setting now you can enable, which you can get the added to cart Shopify metric. If you're not on Shopify, you have to use the API code, to my knowledge. And then abandoned checkout, I brought this pop all over my checkout, and then, my dog shit on the carpet again. So then I gotta go deal with it. I leave. This is an abandoned checkout. This is what Klaviyo calls an abandoned cart, but it's not. If this is the only flow you have missing, you're not also capturing these, then you're missing out on a lot of money because of it. Flow outline. All right. So these flows, if you're not making like over $500,000 a month, I don't recommend having. Basically, what I'm saying is you can use the same content for both flows. If you're not making a shit ton of money, then just use the same content. It'll do the same. It'll convert the same. But if you're like a really big brand, you're making like $1 million a month, maybe switch it up. Maybe you can do different content for each. But I recommend just making the emails one time and then using them for cart and checkout. So here is the abandoned cart. I'm just going to cover this because, like I said, it's the same content in the other picture. So email 1, remind them of the product they abandoned and then showcase it. So just like, hey, you forgot this, show the product that they put in their cart. Email 2, do a plain text email nudge from the founder. Remind them of the product they left, give them brief info of the branding, like why you started it, what makes your brand special. See if you can get them over the edge. Email 3, brand unique selling points, add urgency to the order expiring, list unique brand selling points, and then show the product they add to cart and left again. Email 4, testimonials, list testimonials and social proof, and then show the product again. Email 5, last chance, throw some urgency on it, show the product they abandoned. And then what we like to do typically here is we'll do a conditional split. Have they purchased before? You can do like all time if you want. Otherwise, a lot of times we'll do like has made a purchase in the last 6 months. If it's yes, then we'll send them a plain text from the founder, like everything okay, offer support, last chance to order. If they haven't ordered ever or in the last 6 months, whatever you pick, we like to give those first time people a discount because like in theory, your product isn't dog shit. And if you can just get them to order once, he'll know they'll order from you again. So give them a discount. I mean, that's the whole point of the welcome series, but we'll give them a discount here. So flash discount and then show them the product they left again. Email 7, hey, last chance for discounts expiring. Show them the product that they abandoned again. And then email 8 from the founder, plain text, everything okay. Remind them of the discount, offer support, last chance to order. And that usually works pretty well, as you saw from the screenshots. All right, here's some email examples of some abandoned cart / checkout emails. I thought this one was pretty cool. This one I would add a call to action here, complete order or whatever, finish checkout. I think that'd be good to have one in the first fold here. But otherwise, it's a pretty clean email. This one's cool. They're supposed to show the product here, but they must have been bugging. I don't know. Same with this one, show like, why they should buy your product. Yeah, all good emails. All right, the post-purchase flow. So this flow fires right after someone places an order. There are a bunch of ways you can make these flows. You can, upsell products in the post-purchase. You can ask for reviews. You can, just give community vibes, education, all sorts of things, really. You got options here. But personally, I like to keep it simple. I like to thank them, make them feel good about buying the product. We don't want them to be like, oh man, shoot, dude, my wife's going to kill me. Should I even bought that? We want to give that guy, we want to put ideas in his head. So when his wife comes at him, like, why did you spend $486? You could tell him like why it was a good investment and why she should be proud of him. And then you can show them how to get the most out of what they just ordered. So the what? 3+ emails sent after someone places an order with you. Why? Say thank you, kill buyer's remorse and build excitement. Give them a chance to add more to their order if they want, and collect a solid review once they've had their time with the product. How? Trigger, someone places an order, filter, cancel orders 0 times to start this flow. Here's the flow outline. This is a simple three email post-purchase. Thank you from the founder, plain text. Give a sincere thank you, upsell and add, and then you give them the option to upsell and add the order. Like a lot of times it can be like thanking them, blah, blah, blah. But like if you want to add something else to your order, if you do in the next XYZ hours, we'll try to throw it on your order, blah, blah, blah. Email 2, follow us on socials, promote your main social media platform. Email 3, how to get the most out of your product. And a lot of times this is where it will get a little more complicated unless you sell one product. But like if it's a specific product, it's going to be different. Like say someone ordered shorts, someone ordered a shirt. Like you're going to have conditional splits, like how to get the most out of it, or maybe how to care for it, stuff like that. So that's where it'll get a little tricky if you do stuff like that. And then you're probably wondering, where's the review request? You can also add that in there as a 4th email. Maybe wait until order's delivered, wait X amount of days, and send it to them. But a lot of my clients like to use Shopify apps to just collect reviews. So what we'll do is we'll just basically go into the Shopify app and customize the template to be like the emails that we normally send for them. And then the customer doesn't even know that it's any different. And those apps are pretty good at collecting reviews. So that always works. Email examples, settled in yet? It's been 30 days since your order. Blah, blah, blah. How do you like it? Your order's on the way. Make them feel good about their purchase. You're taking a big step in your health. And then educating them on like how to unbox the product when it gets there. Maybe it's like this is complicated. It's like plants or something. All good emails. All right, the last flow of the day is the customer winback flow. This one's pretty simple. just get past customers to make an order again. Don't overthink it. Basically, they're probably still getting your campaigns, promos, and everything else you've been sending to your list. And if you're doing it right, you should probably be sending 2 to 4 campaigns a week, maybe more. I mean, if you're a bigger brand, then definitely more. Basically, what is it? It's 3 to 10 plus re-engagement emails sent over 60 days or more after the last order. At 60 days, that's not set in stone. It's kind of whatever, depending on the brand, the products you sell, whatever you think is appropriate. Why? Encourage them to make another purchase. Remind them of a restock, recommend something new, stuff like that. So somebody places an order equals 60 days ago. So what I like to do is I like to do place order as my trigger, and then I'll put a conditional split with a time delay. And then basically say I were to order now, like if I'm the customer I order, I'm instantly put into this flow technically. And then 60 days will go by, and then or whatever the time delay is, it'll check have I ordered since starting this flow. If I haven't ordered again, then I'll get in the flow. But if you order, if a customer orders and then orders again, like on the 59th day, then it resets. So just a good way to automatically, re-engage customers and try to get them to come back. Here's a 3 email flow outline. Whatever you want to do for time delay. In the video, I actually show you how I do it. Now, I like to conditional split and test different times. It's in the video below in the Klaviyo setup if you want to check that out. But email 1, it's been a while. Remind them of the brand. Encourage them to come back and make another purchase. Email 2, that email didn't work. So send them a discount. Make them feel special. Give them a unique discount to get them back. Email 3, text-based last chance on the discount. This is from the founder here. Remind them that's their last chance to order with that discount. Email examples. I've noticed that everyone uses "we miss you." Maybe don't use "we miss you" because everyone else does. You can, switch it up. But these are good examples of win-back emails. Come see what's new, take a discount. What happened? Take a discount. Now we're going to get into flow optimization. Basically, the downsides of optimizing flows, it just sucks. Like tracking, reporting, documenting, it's a pain. It takes time. It's annoying. Right here, I just attached a screenshot. I like to use Notion for this. For my clients, we'll do for the flows. So what we're kind of talking about here. We'll like to put what we're testing, when the test started, what we're testing, notes, the winner, conclusion, and then you make the changes on that, which takes time. Like you can see here, like this test, February 11th, it didn't get done they didn't check it until February 25th. We had to give it a week or two. So it takes time, which is the annoying part about flows. But the best way to do it is to test everything. So do these tests on flows, but then also do them on campaigns. Flows take longer to get clean data, but the results will stick. Campaigns are faster, and you can test angles really quickly. So what we like to do, you're probably like, what the heck are we talking about campaigns and A/B testing for? We're talking about flows. Well, basically what we like to do is we like to test something on a campaign. If it works, we don't just be like, yeah, let's go team, and then we go like do whatever. We'll take our findings and plug it into the flow. So and not just any flow, the right flow. Say you send a campaign explaining how the product was made and it cooks, throw that shit in the welcome flow. If it's about maximizing product use and it cooks, throw it in the post-purchase flow. If it handles objections or breaks down your return policy and it cooks, throw it in the abandoned cart flow. Abandoned checkout, whatever you want. The point is you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. Use your campaign wins to upgrade your flows. Whether it's putting, evergreen emails, not sale emails or anything, but campaigns that were evergreen that did really well, throwing them in the appropriate flows, or maybe taking A/B tests from flows. Maybe you were testing long form content and it cooked, then maybe you want to use more long form content in flows. But just don't be afraid to test in both places and build your system out. And that's how you get a complete email system that just prints money. Then we have the Drake meme, A/B testing campaigns, or testing campaigns and plugging them in flows so they keep printing forever. So now we're going to get into some specific A/B tests you can run for flows. So subject lines and preview text. This one's pretty obvious, but it can be tricky. There's so much variation that it can be hard to apply what worked into future emails, but it's still worth testing consistently. I recommend my team, or what we do, is every week we'll start a new A/B test on subject line or preview text for flows. You should always have the welcome email, or the email 1 for each flow should have an A/B test on it at all times. And you should always be trying to find the best variation, I guess. There's a few things you can play with. You can mention the discount in the subject line. You can not. And these are specifically for sales. You can try to threaten them. Buy my product or else. Actually, probably don't do that. That's not advice. You can use emojis. You can do no emojis. You can use quotes, you can keep it clean, you can play with urgency, you can use all caps, sentence case, title case, lowercase. There's so many combinations. You can use RE to make it look like a reply. You're probably going to get some people pissed off at you. I've never personally done it. It's kind of a dirtbag move in my opinion, but you can do it. It's your brand. And open rates are not going to tell you everything, but over time, you're going to figure out what works and what's going to get the best open rates and improve from there. Flow time delays. This is probably, when it comes to A/B testing flows, this is probably the biggest lever you can pull. It's all about testing the time delay between when someone takes action and when they get that first email. And then dialing in the timing between each message after that. So too soon, 1 minute after they've viewed a product and abandoned, you send them an email, that's pretty desperate. Like, they're not going to like that. But too late, they're going to forget about you and be on it. Maybe they already went to your competitor and bought from them. So you can't be too soon, but you can't be too late. Getting this right makes a huge difference. So as you see below, this is a screenshot of time delay that we did on the abandoned checkout flow, and 30 minutes versus 45 minutes. 30 minutes, it converted much better. You can see 2.9K versus 488. So that's the live example right there. Sorry, my everything clouded over there when I was explaining that I had to sneeze, and I was trying to do everything in my power to not sneeze. But graphic versus text-based. So some lists love clean branded graphic emails. Others perform better with plain text that feels more personal. I'm on email lists where I've never even seen a plain or a graphic email. They're all plain text. And I have clients that personally will be like, I've advised against it, but the client's boss at the end of the day, even though I do this for 15 plus ecom brands, basically they don't want to send plain text emails, so we don't do it. So I know brands that have never sent a plain text email ever. They just don't want to do it. It's not their brand, which makes whatever. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But there's no universal rule. It depends on your audience, and the best move is to test and see what works. Maybe that brand that I'm talking about, we tested and it works awesome, like way better than the graphic design. We won't know because they don't want to do it, but it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is you need to test and you need to find what your audience likes. So for big drops in sales, we found a mix of both usually works best. Send some graphic design emails later in the day, like a reminder of the sale from the founder, plain text. That works good. When it comes to key emails, when you really want them to be delivered, plain text is always better. Here's an A/B test of plain text versus graphic design. This isn't the best example. It's not like one did super crazy compared to the other, but you can also test long form versus short form. This is definitely worth testing, especially in flows, longer form content versus short, punchy emails. It applies to campaigns too, but it's super important in flows like abandonments where people still have objections. Sometimes you want to keep it short and push for a quick impulse buy, but other times you need to slow it down and actually work through what's holding them back. Both can work, it just depends on where they're at. Promoting categories versus products. We've noticed that some customers prefer to browse by category. Others like seeing individual products right in the email. There's no one size fits all here, so just mix it up, see what works. If one format clearly performs better for your list, I recommend leaning into it, especially on important emails. But if they prefer one over the other, definitely stick with that one. And here's another A/B test, testing products versus categories. Not a huge difference, as you can see. I mean, in orders, they did. I wish I would have showed the name of the campaign so I could tell you which was which. But I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because each brand's different. Well, that's all, folks. That's all I got for this one. Hopefully you made it this far. There's a lot of value in this. There's a lot of value in this doc. Hopefully you use this doc and implement it. This is where to find me. You can email me here. That's my email. If you have any questions, reach out. There's my socials, my pop-up builder, etc. There's me and this cat. If you want to have a conversation about flows, you can book a call with my business partner here. Fortunately, you don't get to talk to me until the next call. He's pretty chill. He knows his shit does. So if you want to book a call, talk about flows, this is in the doc. I'll also have it in the description. That's probably all for this video. It was a long one. Hopefully we made it this far. Value bomb for sure. Lots of good shit in here. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, if you want me to cover something next. Hopefully I see you guys in the next one. Peace.